Lesson 85. Okay, in this lesson, we need to examine a couple of special forms of the word con. Antonio, why don't you tell us a little bit about conmigo and contigo?
Yes, Bill. Every time we use the word con, which means with, as we learned in the previous lesson, that's just a simple, independent word by itself, con. But there are two cases in which we have to add something to this word con. For example, if I want to say with me, I say the special word conmigo. Or if I want to say with you, then I say contigo. As you can tell, with me in English is two separate words, but in Spanish it's going to be one word altogether, conmigo. And the same thing as with you. With you is two separate words, but in Spanish is one single word, contigo. In every other case you use with and then followed by something else, it's just going to be con. So if I say con William with William or con Mrs. Jones with Mrs. Jones, every single time you use the word with, it's just going to be con. With the only two exceptions, which are the ones I already gave you. With you and with me. With you, contigo. With me, conmigo.
Okay, what if you wanted to say with him? Is there a special form for that?
No, just con él. Two separate words.
Okay, what about with her?
That's just con ella. So as you can tell, these are going to be the only two exceptions. With you and with me. The rest is just the normal way you just learned in the previous lesson.
So you mean the word con plus the pronoun?
Yes.
So let me see if I understand this. If I wanted to say with us, I could say con nosotros.
That's right.
And if I wanted to say with y'all, if I were in Spain, I could say con vosotros.
Mm-hmm.
And with them would be con ellos.
Yes. As you can see, the word con is separate, always. As it's in English, always with is just a separate word. In Spanish, there happen to be two exceptions, as I said.
Okay, well, that's good information. Why don't we look at our exercises? In number 1, ella come means she eats, conmigo means with me, and todas las semanas means every week. So number 1 will say, she eats with me every week. In number 2, ellos comen means they eat, contigo means with you, and todas las semanas means every week. So number 2 will say, they eat with you every week. In number 3, we have a question. The subject here is ellos, and the verb is comen. Under normal circumstances, that would say they eat, but here they're reversed because it's a question. So we'll translate them as, do they eat? Contigo means with you, and todos los días means every day. So number 3 will say, do they eat with you every day? In number 4, we have the word sí, which means yes, and ellos comen means they eat, conmigo means with me, and todos los días means every day. So number 4 will say, yes, they eat with me every day. In number 5, las muchachas means the young women. The verb here is quieren, that's third person plural, to agree with las muchachas. So las muchachas quieren will say, the young women want. Then we have agua, which means water, and porque, which means because. Then we have an idiom at the very end, tienen sed. Literally, that means they have thirst, but we'll translate it as they are thirsty. So in our translation, we'll insert the word they there. So number 5 as a whole will say, the young women want water because they are thirsty. In number 6, tu perro means your dog, and the verb here is quiere, that's third person singular, and that means wants. So tu perro quiere will say, your dog wants. And then we have agua, which means water. So number 6 will say, your dog wants water. In number 7, mi hermano means my brother. The verb here is trabaja, that's third person singular, and it means works. So mi hermano trabaja will say, my brother works. Conmigo means with me, and todos los días means every day. So number 7 will say, my brother works with me every day. In number 8, mi hermano means my brother. The verb here is habla, that's third person singular. So mi hermano habla will say, my brother speaks. Español is Spanish, so the first part of number 8 will say, my brother speaks Spanish. Then we have the word pero, which means but, and yo hablo means I speak, inglés means English. So number 8 says, my brother speaks Spanish, but I speak English. In number 9, el señor Smith means Mr. Smith. The verb here is trabaja, that's third person singular, to agree with el señor Smith. So el señor Smith trabaja will say, Mr. Smith works. Todos los días means every day. So number 9 will say, Mr. Smith works every day. In number 10, mis perros means my dogs. Siempre means always. The verb here is beben. That's third person plural to agree with mis perros, and it means drink. And agua means water. So number 10 will say, my dogs always drink water.